Oxford. Okay. Cute cows. You're so brave. Are you gonna come on the cover? I've never been that close to that bird. Is this because I'm reading Babel? Do you want to read it? Are you speaking Robin? I see. Yes, you're king. So many visitors. Where are you going? No, don't get in there. We've made it. You have no idea what happened, obviously. I'm going to tell you right now. But what happened is I tried to film this video, what you're seeing right now, 5 times at least. Recording this video has been one of the longest things I ever had to do. This is the 3rd time, I think. I got my microphone. I hope you can hear. I struggled. I had problems with drifting sounds, bit rates. The ending contradicts the whole book to me. Because it's so simple. I don't know how I'm going to edit this thing. Whatever happened, I tried everything and I think I got it. I'm really bad at this. But it took me a month to get here. And so it's been a long time since I finished this book. We're here to talk about Babel that I finished a month ago. It was a journey. I'm going to start by saying that I am disappointed. It is not a 5 stars. I thought it was going to be a 5 stars because some people that I follow have really enjoyed this book, that I usually trust their opinion. And I'm going to say right now, Babel is overrated. Babel is taking over booktube, Instagram and TikTok, everything, and I want to tell you why I don't think it's legitimate. So first of all, Babel is following this guy that's called Robin, and he's from Canton, a region in China that speaks Cantonese as well, and he's been retrieved from his homeland by this professor, English professor, from a young age. And he grows up in England, learning Greek, Latin, English, all of it. The goal is to join this Royal Institution of Translation in Oxford called Babel. Babel is the center of the empire. All the translations in the world is taking place in there. And why translation is so important? Because it is linked to a magical system based on silver, where you engraved on silver words that it translates. It has some action. Magical things happen. So for example, you engrave on a silver bar speed with the translation in French of vitesse, and then if you stick that silver bar onto a car or whatever, it will get faster. That's an example. But there's a lot you can do with languages, and this book is telling you all about that. So that's the premise. And in Oxford, obviously, the main character meets other people, main characters, and they become friends. Things happened, but not a lot. This is the first problem I had with it. I loved the beginning of the book. From the first chapter, I was hooked. This is going to be amazing. I'm going to love this. It's very atmospheric, but the writing was impeccable. But then after 100 pages, I could tell it was starting to drift into a mash of ideas, a mash of blah blah on etymology and on the empire. for people that maybe are not really familiar with the impact of the empire and colonialism and how England controlled the world by different means and exploited other people, other countries to get stronger and dominate the world as much as possible. And for those that are not familiar with the intricacy of this huge machine of the empire and how it still has impacts today and how languages is a tool of colonialism. The way we speak in English is not a coincidence that we use certain words. This book is very important for this reason. I think it addresses a problem that is happening today. It's the fact that we don't talk about colonialism and we don't talk about the empire and the British Empire. Especially in England or in Britain in general, the school system does not really elaborate on what it actually meant and what it means today. And I think that's why this book is very impactful and it gives a very clear message about the damage and the terrible thing that is colonialism. If you are familiar with these concepts and if you've read about unconscious bias, colonialism, post-colonialism, race, intersectionality, if you're familiar with these concepts, this book is gonna become really long. It was 500 pages. This should have been 200, 300 pages, not 500. Because the middle of the book is basically hammering over and over again the message that white people are bad, white people are the problem, and white people are obnoxious, they don't understand, they will never understand what it is to be the other, the people that are colonized and the people that are used, that are not white, basically. The empire is exploiting and very selfish. This is the point of the book, and maybe I did not have the knowledge to understand a deeper point than that, but after 500 pages in every chapter, the same point is made over and over and over again. Yes, colonialism is bad. After 500 pages of trying to show and explain the complexity of etymology and all of that, it left me with nothing. I did not care about the characters because we did not really develop much about their character. And there's supposed to be a group of young people that would die for each other and that are really like a family or something. But I did not see that happening because all we saw was classrooms studying. Just every chapter had the same structure for a long while. It started with a word that we explained the etymology and the complexity, and we are in a classroom or something like that. Some exam is happening. It escalates into a conversation between these characters. It always ends up in some sort of fight because the white person is being obnoxious and privileged and white. The others are mad at her not understanding their point and their point of view. So this is what's happening in each chapter for at least 10 chapters. And let me tell you, these chapters are 20 pages long each. So by the end of it, I was tired and I honestly wanted it to end because R.F Kuang made her point. I understood what was happening. I just wanted to get out of here because the magic was not there. It was a lot of academic writing and it was supposed to be a fantasy. It was not a fantasy. I did not feel that enough. The potential was huge. I would have loved to dig into this magic system and interact more with silver and the potential of it because it's quite complicated. She explains it a little bit. I loved these passages that we get to know more about silver and about this power of words that I love. I feel like she just wanted to make a point. R.F Kuang wanted to show her thesis. That was her thesis. And I don't think she spent enough time trying to develop these characters. She tried to develop a lot on all these historical concepts and facts. She did not spend enough time developing these characters for us to really root for them. I mean, I did not root for them. And maybe I'm just not good with that dark academia. Maybe maybe I missed the point, but for me, it was a lot of make it things look intellectual, where the actual point that was made was quite basic. What I felt. So maybe I'm being really harsh, and maybe a lot of you loved that book, and I would be so happy to know why and to explain if it's because you've learned a lot and you think that is a very important message, that you enjoyed every single page, you did not drift away. Let me know. Did you actually like these characters? Did you care about them? Did you cry? Because there are some passages I think we were supposed to cry and I did not care. Also, I want to know if I'm the only one not really dying for this book and just being a little bit disappointed, and I think it's just quite overrated. It's, I think, a book that would be very pleasing to adore, because it would, I don't know, I feel like loving this book and thinking it's so deep is quite pretentious, and it's this pretension that makes you feel good about yourself and makes you feel very clever, and that's why you would love that book, is how that book makes you feel. I don't know if that makes any sense, and I don't want to offend anyone. And again, R.F Kuang is a genius. She knows her subject, she's done the research, she's really good at it, she knows a lot about etymology, about the colonial empire, the history of it, and it shows in the book. But the point that she makes is quite basic. It sounds so terrible when I say that, but please let me know if you also think it's a little bit overrated. I would be really happy to know I'm not the only one. Or am I just really pretentious thinking I'm better than R.F Kuang? Absolutely not. She knows beyond anything possible. I just think it should have been less of a thesis and more of a story, and I would rather it to be a non-fiction book rather than a non-fiction disguised into some sort of fantasy that isn't really the case. I don't know if I'm rambling a lot. I'm mumbling, and I'm gonna stop now. This video is done. I'm gonna try and edit it now. I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you soon, hopefully with the sound and the audio fixed. And let me know what you thought. I'll be very intrigued. I'm really interested to know what you think of it, because I know it is adored online in the book community, and just let me know. Let me know everything. I will see you soon, and until then, bye.